he was like, guess what? My council voted against. They were they were against LGBTQ
marriage,
just initiatives.
Period. Oh, all of it.
Initiatives in general.
Yeah.
They're like they wanted. You know how the Crown Act was just passed in Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh. Did you hear about that?
No.
You can't. It is now illegal in the city of Pittsburgh to discriminate against someone for their hair.
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought it was okay.
That's
Yeah. Okay.
And they were trying to create something like that in Sharpsburg, but for like just LGBTQ people, like persons.
So a hair act for.
No, just like not a hair act. Just like you can't discriminate against.
Oh, I thought that was a normal thing with like
HIPAA
or
I'm gonna bring it up.
I said HIPAA. Not HIPAA, but you know, like.
So wait, this is
This is in Sharpsburg.
They're trying not to.
No, I'm about to bring it up and tell you. So
wow,
when
that's
you
deep.
edit it, they rejected LGBTQ non-discrimination ordinance.
So like,
in other words,
Because Pennsylvania civil rights law has protections for people based on their race, religion, sex, national origin, and disability status.
right?
But not
so they're saying that if you
went to a
apply
bakery,
they can say we will not serve you and we will not hire you because you are under that flag.
meaning LGBTQ Pennsylvanians who live outside of the municipalities with protections can be evicted or denied public accommodation without legal recourse.
So this is like Handmaid's Tale, huh? That's what I'm getting with all of this. Everything I go back to Handmaid's Tale.
But it's
like,
only in Sharpsburg that they're.
But see, that's what they thought. They thought it was only one place, and then all of a sudden it spread like wildfire. Stupid spreads, I'm telling you. Stupid spreads. What was the thing that you were talking about your blog earlier? What was the title?
Freedom.
Free, dumb. Dumb is free to everyone. Dumb.
Just because we
is
have freedom
free.
don't mean we intelligent persons here in the United States of America.
Freedom.
and you know what else?
Wow.
Oh gosh.
You lost it, didn't you?
Yeah. President Trump said it yesterday.
Oh Lord.
So
First
don't
on a
Yeah, so
commercial.
we
No, it was during a commercial.
So we shouldn't talk about whatever President Trump said because we don't like him. He's
no.
already-
I was gonna.
Although I will say this, we did watch the last final, as they call it, the final presidential debate, which was corny.
Y'all watched it. I don't watch it
I watched it.
because I don't have cable.
It was. You know what it was like? You remember when we saw the first one and it was like a shit show, and then we saw the vice presidential and it was like, oh, this isn't entertaining because they're debating normally. That's what this went back to. It just went back to the boring. I mean, there were highlights and points, and I was like, haha, that was great. But someone must have.
Trump called the wind expensive.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
He
did.
did say that yesterday.
He said the wind turbines, and I quote,
Were
the wind
expensive.
turbines give off the most horrible emissions.
That's what caused
our country.
No, wait. That's what caused the coronavirus.
Yeah, he said that
And they're
too.
mean against the birds. And
Yeah, he
like,
said
Yes, he did.
they kill the birds and they kill people. I was like,
the only debate that I've watched so far was the vice presidential debate. And I think that in order to make the debates more interesting,
they should just let them beat each other up.
no, they should give the moderator a buzzer or someone a buzzer to fact check.
Right,
Yeah,
because
Because this one, they were supposed to be able to shut his mic off. And don't you know, it worked one time and then mysteriously didn't work for the rest of the debate. Like, it literally cut out
did
Did
not
you see
work.
the news
and it
that,
came back on. And
did
I was
you
like,
see
what?
the news that he got, 60 Minutes now has beef with him?
Oh yeah, because he sat there and
He leaked his own
What?
interview. Today he leaked it because he said he felt like he was being treated unfairly. And you want to know what the woman said to him that made him go off? Are you ready for the tough questions? Like that rhetorical question? before the interview,
Mm-hmm.
he said, "You're not being fair."
But wait, but 60 Minutes,
It doesn't air till
he
Sunday.
didn't,
You know
he
what?
didn't, he did
Now
not,
I'm gonna have to go and watch it.
but wait, hold on, he did not stay during the whole 60 minutes. He didn't. He sat there and he got up and he walked out.
Because he couldn't answer the hard questions.
He apparently couldn't answer the hard questions yesterday either. Because let me tell you
They
something. I give
never
credit.
answer the
I
hard
give credit
questions.
where it's due. Okay? Whoever coached Mr. Orange Face Man before his debate, whenever it was, I don't remember if it was yesterday. My days are blurred. It's a pandemic. But whoever coached him or whoever his people are that sat him down and was like, looky here.
Yesterday.
We gonna go back and watch the tapes like in sports and see where you fucked up. And we're gonna straighten this shit out. Shout out to them because they did straighten him out.
One of his biggest issues was he kept saying, "I'm going to help people. Like, Obamacare is not going to work, but we're going to create something different."
And he never talks about what it is. I'm like, okay,
he
cool.
never goes into detail, even on 60 Minutes, when they asked him, "So what are you going to do for people with
And that's what
pre-existing
Biden kept bringing up. He kept saying, he said, this man keeps saying.
He had 4 years to figure it out.
Right.
And what is this 47 he keeps talking about Biden? You have 47 years. Now, I did Google how long Mr. Biden, our Vice President Mr. Biden, had been in office. I mean, as far as a
So,
public figure. It has been 47 years. He was elected to the Senate at 30.
Oh.
But,
I don't want to know.
You're trying to twist it.
I'm glad you live here.
I feel like maybe you shouldn't drink anymore.
So I am. Okay,
There
so
she
a lot of, especially black people are very hard on Biden because in the 1960s, he said some very problematic things about black people, and he wasn't as old as he is now, but he's a white guy. Even though that's not an excuse. People are allowed to grow. If we continue penalizing people for the things they've done in the past, even if they are trying to create some kind of recourse, we should give them not the benefit of the doubt, but we should give them the time to correct the wrongs.
If y'all could give all these other people a gimme, R. Kelly, and all these other people that we've given passes to until finally it was like, oh shit, we gotta do something. We've been giving passes to so many people throughout history. And when it counts,
Not
if
only
you see
history,
somebody who, but when it counts.
Not only history, but like totally opposite, but like with people, period. You're always giving someone another
second chances all the time. That's just human
Because
nature.
what they're doing when they're creating these narratives, like, oh, this is what he did this is what he did that.
What someone has done.
They're like, vote for Bernie Sanders. You can't write Bernie Sanders in at this point and he's gonna win. We have to be a reality. Even though it's a democracy here in the United States, it's a very flawed democracy.
Yeah, you can't do that.
We're not even going to get into it, like the popular vote versus the electoral college. Like, that will make you cry. But just at the point of,
You said that will make you
but just at the point of, like, it's a two-party system. Yeah, there's independents, but the likelihood of an independent winning at this point, we could barely get the party that we want to win, let alone bring in the third party because it's dysfunctional.
And for real, it ain't even about the party. Like, everybody keeps saying, oh, Republican versus Democrat. No, it's person versus person. Trump is a bad person. Like, he's a bad person.
And then people give me the argument that, oh, black people used to be Republicans. I was like, did you
Everyone
read
was Republican. There was no thing. It was a republic.
Did you read the history?
Yes,
of it?
please read a book. I'm so tired of that.
But black people used to be Republicans.
No, but see, they don't get the context of it. They're saying black people used to be Republicans, but there were no Republican and Democrats. It was just a republic. You were able to vote for who was on the ticket.
So did you read the not this current blog from this week, but did you read the 200-year start blog?
I sure did.
And that's where I was like, people were like,
Oh, now I remembered. Sorry,
Oh.
you could finish it. I remember.
people were like, everybody got the right to vote at this point. I was like, no, everybody did not get the right to vote at the same time. So
Right.
when voting was like, black people were freed and they could vote. they would still face backlash to the point where they had to take ridiculous tests, like reciting the alphabet backwards, or
just get killed on their way to try to vote.
That was a thing too. Like they would have to face these trials and tribulations, and then when black people got to vote, it gets deeper because women couldn't vote yet.
You can be black and a woman, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like,
feminism should be intersectional or not at all.
Hold on, I have to get this up before I forget it. I feel it fading.
Go.
Okay. Everyone is, it's either everyone is created equal or everyone is created equal. Everyone is not seen equal. Everyone is not. Because everyone is still being judged, and everyone still has, people still sit there and look at you, or, people still sit there and view you as something. Everyone is not created, the whole world is not created equal. Everyone is not created equal. And that's just something that here in 2020 still is not going on.
Yeah, and I think 2020 is really made because we've all been I was talking about social distancing. Within that social distancing, I feel like it's brought people together and it's made things more brought to light.
I think it depends on what country you live in, because in the United States, it depends on also not only what country you live in, but what state you live in.
Real talk.
Did y'all hear about him?
Listen, if you had watched the debate, he shouted out Pennsylvania a couple of times, but not in a good way. Sorry, PA. He was like, "Yeah, you Democrats, you're the ones that keep trying to stop bills that are being passed to, reform the jails, and you PA, it's the PA people, that Pennsylvania
this
over
week, Governor Tom Wolf, he addressed the fact that bars and clubs were not doing well, and he addressed it. He was like, they need some kind of CARES Act, and he brought out an olive branch, which wasn't the best olive branch, but it was something. He said, for 2021, we will waive all your, the PLCB, the Pennsylvania Liquor Board, those fees for the bars and clubs.
Are those only the ones that are open, or ones that want to open?
I guess we can't read the future. They do open in 2021. They don't have to pay those fees.
Sorry, y'all.
But you have to have a liquor license already. You can't just go out and be like, I'm gonna get a free liquor license. That's not a thing.
But look.
But
one thing
a lot of establishments are like, that's not enough. But you can't expect people to come to. You can't.
I mean, no one wants this. No one wants it. No one wants to get it and bring it back to grandma and grandpa. No one wants this.
They want paid from the government. Well, I can't speak for them, but when I listen,
my show, you can speak for
when I listen to a lot of the feedback after the fees were waived from the Liquor Control Board, they're like, we want something more, and I'm like, what more do you want? Because people aren't going there.
People are afraid.
People are afraid. Like, I'm kind of iffy about takeout. I only do takeout once or twice a week.
Because you don't know.
I used to do takeout.
Touch just shit.
Yeah, I used to do takeout a lot.
Yeah. Until it settles in. Like, wait a minute. Who's touched this? Are they sanitary? Did I watch them pack my stuff? I wonder. But yeah, back to your point about it not being equal. This is what 2020 has brought, and I'm like, it's crazy.
You know what? You know what's so sad? That it's never been equal ever since Martin Luther King said
even before that.
No,
it's never been equal. Period.
But if we never do anything, like it's gotten better. I will say that.
Yeah, it's gotten better.
If you accept that it's never been equal and you don't do anything about it, then you're part of the problem.
We still need people to do.
You can't
give up, because if you give up, you still have to live.
You still need to go out and vote, even though you're like, the vote doesn't matter. But even if the popular vote doesn't determine who's president, it determines who's your local. Sometimes your local. Sometimes your police chief. Now it depends on where you live. Your DA, your judges, the people that affect your day-to-day life, and the ordinances. Like some people get to vote on legalized weed, that type of situation. And a lot of states are actually dropping the ball on that, because I would put that in a heartbeat on every legislation right now, because you could be pulling in money even though there's a drought in Pennsylvania. So I hear.
Is it still a drought? Because I haven't been seeing the thingies around.
It's a drought a little bit.
But the funny thing is that you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, well, I don't vote, blah, 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 and I don't know this. The power of the internet is amazing. You can Google a lot of things. And not just Google things, you can go and ask people. Like, you can go on these forums and you can literally ask a question and get feedback from thousands of people that will give you, all kinds of different answers, but you can literally kind of draw your own conclusion.
When people say, I'm not going to vote because Joe Biden did this, Joe Biden did that, I said, well, if you don't vote because Joe Biden did this or Joe Biden did that, then you might as well have voted for Trump, because, Trump supporters, they shot in droves to the polls, because I like someone on TikTok said it recently. They were like, Joe Biden supporters are like, I don't really like Joe. I wanted Bernie, but this is what we have. But this is what we need to do, so we're going to do this. I don't want this, but we need to do this. And Trump supporters are like, oh my gosh, he could do no wrong. He's amazing.
Yeah, where's the support, people? Y'all
But
support Jordan. Y'all support LeBron James. Y'all support all these other people that ain't done nothing. I'm not saying they haven't done anything for anybody, but they haven't. I have not received a check from LeBron James personally, and I doubt any of you have. So, yes, he may have fed the homeless or did whatever, but it hasn't directly affected me.
I have seen on the internet on YouTube and on what's that one?
What have you seen?
Instagram?
No, the other one. The ones that you send us clips to. What is it
TikTok.
called? TikTok, yeah. On YouTube and TikTok, I've seen videos of people who voted for Trump who's sitting there reneging on it and voting for Biden.
But
instead.
you can't renege. It's a mindset.
If you voted, like, in 2016, if you voted for Trump, a lot of people that voted for Trump in 2016 are rethinking that decision, because these were a lot of people that came from, like, coal mine families. They came from poor, predominantly. And he promised that the coal mine industry would come back, and it did not come back.
Well, see, the thing is, I heard a lot of arguments back in 2016 that were just anti-Hillary. It really had nothing to do with Trump. It was just so anti-Hillary that they just voted for Trump out of spite. Y'all are literally voting for someone out of spite. That's dumb.
What
That's
we have to
stupid.
do is get rid of the electoral college.
Yes,
because
please.
we wouldn't be in this position if the electoral.
Because she won.
Do you know why the electoral college exists, right?
White people.
No, slavery.
White people.
Why?
Slavery is nothing but the infliction of white people on us.
Because if the popular...
Sorry, white guys. We're talking about slavery, white people.
If we break it down, like, I'm going to super, like, simplify it.
Oh,
and
Lord.
it all falls down to... once the slaves were freed, there were still a significantly amount of slaves in the South.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh my gosh, the South is going to elect the president. And the electoral college was basically created after the free the slaves.
Out of fear. Out of fear.
Ever since voting was created,
Because they couldn't let go of the power.
ever
oh.
since voting was created, the government that was instituted, no matter what time period it was, created hurdles around allowing the people to select who is in charge. It's not just a now thing. It's voter suppression has been around ever since voting has been around.
Come on now. And that's what we need, people. I understand that we want to riot, we want to burn things down, we get upset, blah, 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 blah.
You know how you change things? So we don't end up in a presidential election like this again? I'm going to reiterate. You vote in your local elections because that's who you're voting for, your state representatives, your senators, the people that represent you. Those are popular votes, but our people don't show up to vote on those elections.
Well, then it's also people. I mean, I understand that not everybody has the opportunity, the time, whatever it may be, to gain a higher education. But the internet is a wonderful thing. It's free in most libraries. I know we're in a pandemic and it's very hard to get to a library, but most of us have a phone that can get the internet. If you don't, you have friends that have it, and you can get there. Because realize that you can become these officials.
The Americans, the Americans can flip the system if they use it.
They can.
If they use it to the best of their ability by being like, hey, we need to start from the bottom up. And if you could be like, hey, every election that comes up locally, you'd be like, hey, I know someone that should run for this, that, and the third.
And also, what I think we've taken off the table is a lot of the Constitution. At one point, the Constitution was a huge issue. People were talking about it. People were making moves to try to, we need to revisit this. Let's try and make changes, and then it just stopped because they weren't making any progress.
That's a great idea.
If you just quit, it don't work.
That's a great idea. You shouldn't stop that fight, but something that we can do now is change the people that are in charge now. We can flip them.
I mean, That's
actually
not only that, you
easier.
can become one of these people.
Because you know what's going to happen is, what I foresee happening if a Democrat does become president is someone's going to put something on the table where they have to reevaluate how the Supreme Court is created.
Yeah, because then we just get who's the chick that just got
she hasn't been confirmed
but
yet.
What's her name? I can't remember.
Amy Cohen or
yeah,
something.
her. Unfortunately, I have not looked up her record, so I'm not gonna.
Her record is trash.
From what I hear, her record is trash, and I mean, from who's
she wouldn't be a handmaid. She'd be a wife.
Yeah.
But
she'd be one of them upper people, the people on the council or whatever in the Handmaid's Tale.
I hate to take this completely
She's an
off
Aunt
subject.
Lydia.
Yeah, I'm Aunt Lydia.
Amy Cohen is an
If y'all haven't, please go check out the
I was
Handmaid's
just
Tale
about
on
to
Netflix.
bring that up. Like, I hate to take this completely off
It's
subject.
not. It's right on subject.
It's
Please
like,
go check that out.
Watch
It's an awesome.
The Handmaid's Tale, because The Handmaid's Tale literally, like, whenever it first came out, it literally brought a lot of things true to today.
And a lot of guys are probably gonna look at this. I'm not watching that shit.
But
It's not just about women. It's about y'all too. It's about everything that's going on. It will really open your eyes to what could possibly happen.
It'll open your eyes. And then you'll start
looking at shit a lot different.
Yeah,
The Handmaid's Tale was created in 1985.
I know.
Because whenever I first started watching The Handmaid's Tale, I started whenever I would go out and be outside the house. Now I said to be like, you know what? This looks and reminds me a lot of The Handmaid's Tale.
If y'all remember back when Mr. Orangeface got first elected, and I think they had their first Christmas, and he decided, or him and Melania or whoever, decided they wanted all red trees in the White House. And someone made a very big stink about, oh, this is just a Handmaid's Tale. You didn't understand what that meant. I promise you. Please go watch it. It won't disappoint. The first and second episodes might make you a little, it's going to make you cringe.
But people that compare The Handmaid's Tale and they're like, oh, we could become The Handmaid's Tale. The only, unless they revert Roe versus Wade, I don't foresee that happening.
Fighting for that though.
No, Amy said she she went on record and she said she's like
People go on record all the time. I don't believe her for a minute. I'm saying they've already banned abortions in certain spots.
I know in certain spots it has been banned because it's been banned for quite some time. It hasn't just happened just like yesterday. It's been banned for a while in the South because the South is mostly Republican. That's why I'm very excited that there is a Democrat, and it is a black Democrat, male, that is running against Lindsey Graham in South Carolina.
Ah, yes, those grams. Oh, those grams.
And I'm like, sometimes I compare it, I was like, don't go to the extreme left, but don't go to the extreme right. You gotta find a happy medium, because some of it is okay, and like this two-party system ain't working, and that's why I am a supporter of democratic socialism. I'll go on record and say that any day. I was like, democratic social, everyone should be able to make a livable wage and live in a house and not on the streets, and they should be able to feed their families. If capitalism is not working,
Come on now.
That's what the pandemic showed us.
Come on now.
It was a magnifying glass that showed us that you can't base an entire economy or a country on you can't base it on capitalism, because when the money's not there, everything is gone. And they're like, oh, we need to reopen everything. We need to save the economy.
That was another thing that, if y'all missed the debate, Mr. Orangey said. He said, and this was a question that was asked him. He said, the moderator was decent. She was a woman of color, so shout out to her. But she did ask the question, during this pandemic, a lot of people have, criticized your movements, and a lot of families, American families, are afraid to send their children back to school, and you said previously that you are for reopening the schools and reopening basically everything.
I feel like Trump didn't take care of his kids, or he's never met a kid in his life.
Why would he take care of his kids? He's rich. But she said, what message do you have to make these parents and these people more...
kids are? But wait, do you know?
Do you know how clean? Why would you say that?
If you had a kid, you would know how, and you took care of a kid, you would know how clean a kid is. They might wash their hands once a day.
And that's because you begged them to.
Yes.
That's probably because you looked at their hands and you're like, oh my God, what have you touched since I've seen you? And please go wash your hands right now.
Look at my mask, it's a hat. That's what I see.
So she asked, she said, what statement, what would you tell these families who are terrified to send their children to school to make them feel like it's safe? Don't you know he averted the entire question, and his whole thing was, we need to reopen.
We
need to reopen because the economy is failing. It's failing. People don't have money.
You know how to make the economy feel worse?
Let everybody die.
If everybody dies, there's no economy anyways.
So his thing was, if we don't have people in school and people outside spending money, I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. If we don't have people outside spending their money, our economy and our way of life will fail. That means the little money that you got, he wants you to put it in the pockets of somebody else.
They gave us $1,200 and haven't looked at us since. And they
right, and that was just to stimulate the stock market.
That was some of us.
Come on now, there's a lot to be said on that.
I'm gonna tell you what, I'm disabled and I didn't get my
She sure didn't.
money.
Shout out to the disabled.
But you can't when people are like, oh, I don't understand the whole concept of, oh, we gotta reopen the economy because what about the people that have money can't stimulate the economy because you're not helping them out.
Right.
There's millions of people without
They're talking
jobs.
about these business owners are struggling. Yes, you know why they're struggling? Because you have not given them any money.
You know the CARES Act?
I got $500 from the CARES Act, and trust me, that did not cover not one bill for my student loans. Thank you, but you could keep it.
There are a lot of businesses in Pennsylvania that closed down here in Pittsburgh because they didn't get any of that pandemic assistance.
Shout out to the
and a lot of them
stop the Isleys, the Chipped Ham, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone. The only thing they can do is make the little jars. If you're in Pennsylvania, you know about chipped ham and Isley's barbecue ham and all that.
A lot of the black
gone.
businesses are suffering.
Yeah.
They would know about Isley's.
I was so sad. It was a wonderful, wonderful place down the street.
And you
went
can
there
pull
for
up
years.
who got the pandemic assistance because there's a right to know, so you can pull it up on the internet. And I did pull up on the internet, and there was a lot of big corporations that got shamed into giving that money back, and they shouldn't had to have been shamed to giving that money back because they shouldn't have requested it.
They shouldn't have got it in the first place. When you hear someone who, I can understand if Mr. Orangey, you know what, we're gonna call him by name, Mr. Trump, was not our standing president. I can understand if he was the guy that was running for president and was spewing dumb stuff. Okay, well, we don't have to vote for you. He's in office right now. He's there right now. He is our standing president. He is our commander-in-chief. And he has stood on stage on several occasions in front of everyone and said that he does not care. He does not care.
Like my blog post said yesterday.
Black, white, candy shop, he don't care.
If we would have did what we were supposed to do when we were supposed to do it, we wouldn't be in the position
Come on
right
now.
now.
Come on now.
We didn't have leadership because our leadership didn't want to scare us when they heard about the pandemic happening in other countries. They were like, oh, we don't want to scare the American public, so I'm going to continue golfing instead of saying.
But you know what? It's so sad. He continues to blame it on China.
And
China did not.
We're not sure, but I promise
China
you
wears
that ain't.
No, we're not sure. It's not sure.
We're not sure,
It's not certain.
but it's okay because this is my shit. So, I 99% promise you that if you're over here hating China and the Chinese and all that, first of all, stop doing that.
They figured it out. They're
Stop
all wearing
doing it.
masks.
Yes,
They're
stop.
having parties.
I'm so sick of people. I done heard a couple of people on the internet lately talking about fuck China, blah, 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 blah. You don't know those people.
Stop
You
worrying
don't
about
know those
where
people.
it came from and worry about how to fix it.
Yeah, because you don't know for a fact that it came from there. You're using hearsay. They've been wearing masks since before this pandemic. So why, if mask is what is keeping us safe, then why would they be the ones who have it and spread it? Because they've been wearing masks.
They've been
before all
celebrating that they've been coronavirus free
It
for
hit
quite some
them
time.
and they annihilated
You know
it
who
and
else?
went on about their way.
New Zealand.
Yeah,
Also,
because they adapted. America's not. We not adapting. Adapt.
our
goddamn it.
freedom to be stupid and freedom to be independent makes us selfish and not care for one another. And I'm like, spread kindness in that COVID. That's what we need right
Come on
now.
now.
We need to spread
We're
kindness
gonna
in the
put out some
United
t-shirts that
States.
say that spread kindness, not COVID, because we don't want it.
We need to spread kindness in the United States right
And
now.
your standing president that all of you you wonderful people are going on record to say that you love said that he is immune. Listen, let me tell you.
He's an idiot.
On this debate.
I will go on record.
He
saying-
said he stood in front of
I
God and man and said, I had
saw
COVID,
that because I
went
Hold
in,
on.
came out,
The worst part about
and I'm
it.
immune. I don't know how long I'm immune for,
I'm immune.
but they
To the
gave me this vaccine, this treatment,
and I'm immune
I'm
to
immune.
the COVID. But you know what?
Meanwhile, his wife
It's
still got it.
It's so funny that his wife still
still
walked
got
on stage with a mask
She still
and
'cause she still
covering
got it.
and
Your wife got the heebie-jeebies.
and
It's
literally
not funny. It's really not. It's not.
he is the idiot in chief.
Yeah.
Joe
No one-
Biden put on his mask and
His
his
wife.
wife came on stage with her mask. Only person on that stage with no mask was the other guy.
My thing is, if you put your hand in the fire, like as a kid, which is terrible, terrible parents, but it's happened. You know, reach up there, it's shiny, you put your hand in it, it burns. Your parent comes and said, don't do that.
Her cat
Do you
found out.
do it again? Do you really do it again? Once you know that, oh, that orange shit
He
burns.
should spread
You
that.
got COVID. Why
He
aren't
should
you?
spread that immunity to over the 200,000
Oh, and don't
Americans
forget,
that
don't
died.
forget. There is a vaccine, y'all.
There is
a
not a vaccine.
Hold on, wait, no.
He said
There's a vaccine
He
coming
says there's
in
a vaccine in 2 weeks. He said in 2 weeks there will be a vaccine.
in a few weeks. In a few weeks.
I will not take a vaccine until I see on camera Anthony Fauci taking that vaccine, because he is the one I trust. He should be the one in charge.
And Kamala, she said if he says it's a vaccine, I'm not taking it.
I wouldn't take the vaccine unless I see Kamala Harris take the vaccine. Then I know it's okay.
Yeah, because she said it real plain. And I love our people, because sometimes they, y'all say it's ghetto, but sometimes you got to put things in layman's terms. She said,
we are not.
If he gives us a vaccine, I am not going to take it. Period.
But we also got to remember, if they do get elected, we have to hold them both accountable. You can't just be like, because we learned that the first time, once Obama was elected, he made a lot of mistakes. And we accepted them because he was the first black president. Mm-hmm. But you can't be like, oh, this is the first black woman vice president. You have to hold everyone accountable for the things that are going on. You can't be blinded that, oh, we made this happen. First of all, don't forget the mission of, hey, we have to start from the bottom up, of recreating this government that, because we weren't paying attention when it happened. Mm-hmm. Most of the Senate and Congress are white men. They are not for us at all.
Come on now.
We have to start at the bottom up. Show up to every election. Not just the big elections, because the president doesn't make laws. He just signs executive orders.
So if you guys really want to help make a difference and help your the person that you've elected in do his or her job, then you need to show up at the polls. And you need to vote for every small election. Period.
It's recording.
It is? Okay, cool. So we never know when it's recording, so sorry, guys.
So the election is coming up, and everyone thinks November 3rd or November 4th they are going to know who is president. Yeah. But because our current president failed at wrangling a pandemic, because he was like, I'm not going to tell people about it until the very last minute.
I'm going to play golf.
We are still in a pandemic to epic proportions.
Hold on. Joe was talking about that too. He was like, you knew about this in January. You didn't tell people about this until a little bit later. You just sat there and said that it's gonna
go away.
It's gonna go away. It's okay.
By the way, we have him on, that's facts. We're not making that part up. Like, when I say he literally got on national television and said it will go away.
I know, I've heard the highlights.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I've heard the highlights.
But I mean, before this, he said that.
Even Obama said that after, he said that recently. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, because of the slow progress, if you want to count, it's not even slow progress. We've made no progress. The United States is banned from most countries because we're acting like a third world country right now, because we're all fending for self, because the United States government is not helping us federally to maintain this. Every state right now is running like its own country with different laws and different ordinances on how to handle this pandemic.
They've just all gone rogue.
And we're expecting on November 3rd that you will know who is president. Even before the pandemic, you did not know who was president on November 3rd, right. Definitively.
That's true.
Okay, so you won't know who's president November 4th either, because most states are running mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots have to be verified. They have to go through all the systems that they have to go through and make it to the places that they need to make it to. So we might not have an election day. Yeah. It might be an election month. We might not know who is president until Thanksgiving.
Yeah, real talk. So please be patient. I know it's hard to be patient because what we have hanging in the balance is so critical. But when you're faced with nothing but the hurry up and wait, you really have to wait. And I know I've heard a lot of rumors about people talking about we gonna do this and we gonna do. Please don't. I understand the urgency. I understand that people are upset. The tension is running high. But you cannot put all the blame on one person. You cannot put the blame on one group of people because this is a collective issue. We have dropped the ball with voting within our own communities and making sure that we put the people in power that we need.
And we've dropped the ball so many times.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we can't expect to pick up all of a sudden because you realize, oh, we've dropped the ball, so we're going to make up for it.
And I'm not saying too little, too late, because it's never too late.
I'm an optimist, but I'm like, if it doesn't go the way that we want it to go,
we have to figure it out.
No, it's not the figuring out. What could possibly happen if Trump wins is we could do to Trump what Republicans did to Obama. True. Obama had a whole a Republican he was being led by the Republicans, unfortunately, because people didn't show up at the polls after they elected Obama, and they were like, "Oh, we did our job, we got a black president." But you let these Republicans win, and they're running in the Senate. So if that was to happen, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope we show up at the polls. I hope the states that they realized their wrongs and they said, oh, well, we're being run by the Electoral College, realized, oh, maybe we should vote with the popular vote, because a lot of states are doing that nowadays. Yeah. I hope that we get to that point. I say hope, but don't lose hope if it does not come out the way that you want to, because the president isn't making these laws. He's just signing them into executive orders. You don't.
And please vote, because every one person's voice counts in voting.
And not just this. Don't wait until we get to a presidential election and be like, I guess I'll vote.
It's too late.
Yeah, because now all the people that the president has to answer to.
The only place where the popular vote doesn't count, you want to be the popular vote.
You want to vote for everything.
It's kind of like going to, for my church going through. Y'all only go to church on the holidays. y'all know the ones I'm talking about. The Christmas, the Easter, those ones. And they wonder why when they go into church they don't recognize nobody. They don't understand all the movements and things that are going on within the church that they've decided to become a part of. And they feel so, disconnected or whatever it is. It's because you decided to only come on the holidays. They've been doing things every Sunday and maybe other days of the week that dictate how your experience is going to be during your service on Sunday or holidays. It's the same thing with the elections. Your president is like your pastor. He's like your preacher, your head preacher. And then you got all the little underlings. I don't remember it because I'm a heathen. I ain't been to church in a minute. But all the other people that make the decision. He has to answer to people too. And the popular vote of them counts. So he can say, hey, I want to do this, and then he has to pass it through them. But if you don't vote for the right people that are on his side, that are on your side, that have the same mindset as you, it don't matter. Don't just vote for the presidential election. It don't. You just an outsider.
I've said that so many times.
Yeah,
that's not the only vote that counts.
It's the least amount of vote that counts.
Listen, black people, it's free. Y'all know we love free stuff. It's free. It don't cost you a penny. It won't cost you nothing. You can even send it in. They will send you a ballot and you send it back. It's free. Free 99.
So I hope that this reaches you in good spirits. This has been this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this freestyle episode that we've enjoyed doing. It was a breath of fresh air. This is Chardonnay.
This wine. Did we shout out this wine yet?
Okay.
This
wine is delicious. Okay.
Yes, because
after the last one that we didn't like, I pulled out a wine from the PA section of wine and spirits. It's called.
How come we don't see that?
I don't know. We can't read.
I do be looking.
I'm gonna butcher this, but it's called
Freestyle
Wine Cellars, Lake Erie, Creekside Blush. It's a table wine. And that's why we couldn't find the percentage because it's a table wine.
What that mean?
It doesn't
That
have
means
a
it's-
percentage.
No,
Table wines don't
it's
have-
delicious. Most table
It is
wines don't.
delicious. I
Most
wanna-
table wines
I-
Where's
don't.
that
honestly-
cork? I could put corks in.
No, don't put corks in.
All right.
No,
That.
I'm trying to sit
But,
here.
okay,
and
Sanoka, did you ever give these people who you are?
Please vote and please find.
Sayonara.
She did not. That will be the first episode that she didn't tell people who she was.
You didn't tell
They
nobody.
know who I am.
Anyway, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, leave us a comment. We really appreciate all the comments. We always comment back. If you comment on the comment section below, we will respond back to you. We might even give you a shout out. Shout out to Lee's Creations. Shout out to A. Rancherson.
I'm Wilson and 89. Follow me.
Don't follow her. And also, if you haven't already, go ahead. If you are a creator on YouTube or any kind of creator, and you're trying to find a way to grow your channel, grow your website, please go ahead and check out TubeBuddy. It is down in the description of the video below. If you check it out, it is a free service. I promise you, it attaches to your Chrome or whatever your browser is. It helps you out figuring out tags and keywords and thumbnails. And if you know what I'm talking about if you're trying to do a YouTube channel or whatever. But it is designed for YouTube. It won't get you in any trouble. It does help you a lot. It has changed our channel significantly, and y'all can definitely look at that in our subscribers and our views. Right here on AngelleeTV. We love you a lot. Please tune in for our next episode and give us a thumbs up.